Well, let's get to why y'all are here. So recently, it was brought to my attention that there was a convention that was done, and this was not too long ago. I think this was like about August 6th or so, something like that. And in this convention, or in this meeting or whatnot, this was about um, it was black journalists all came together, and one of the guests that they had was Nate Moore. And for those of you that don't know, Nate Moore is one of the producers of Black Panther. He's the reason why we have Black Panther. If it was not for Nate Moore, we wouldn't have Black Panther at all. He is like, I want to say he's like the only black like VP exec at Marvel Studios. So Nate Moore gets my respect for putting Black Panther on the map at all. Like, thank you, Nate Moore, for that. Now, during this event, Nate Moore has some things to say, of course. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever was a topic of discussion. And he had a couple things to say, but I wanted to play a little bit of what he had to say. We're going to react to some of it, but then we're going to react to the issue that I want to take. One thing he said that I had issue with. This is what, again, this was a kind of like the Q&A session of whatever he was talking about. I guess they were talking about Black Panther Wakanda Forever. I think they were getting a trailer, maybe some footage. I don't know. But this was just one clip from the talks there. So let's just listen to what he has to say, and then we'll react to it as well.
Having seen the first visuals of this film and at least some indication as to where the film might be going a few months out for its release?
Yeah, that's a good question. We all shared the same loss. Mm-hmm. From however you sat, or if you were in the theater, or if you were next to the guy on set, we shared the same loss. But it's not the end. Yeah. And so as much as we should celebrate the man and the character, we should also have hope for the future. And that's what the movie is about. The movie is about finding hope amidst a tragedy. And I think that is something, unfortunately, that is timeless, because we continue to experience tragedies in our lives on the micro and macro level. And our country is going through it a bit right now.
Okay. So finding hope in the midst of tragedy is pretty much what Black Panther Wakanda Forever is all about. Now, I will say that right now, we don't know exactly when Black Panther Wakanda Forever takes place. We don't know exactly where it takes place. My hope, as I've said many times, is that I hope it takes place during the blip. I hope. And if it does take place during the blip, I think it makes more sense, because we did lose T'Challa already in the narrative. Now, again, I know some people are just joining. The algorithm just brought you here, and you're sitting here wondering, like, what are y'all talking about or whatever? Or you might be saying, but Shuri was blipped away and all that. Okay, guess what? I strongly encourage that you go to my channel and you look up my video called The Blip Theory Explained, and I'm going to show you how exactly maybe Shuri didn't get blipped. And I'm just going to demonstrate that actually there's enough wiggle room where that's not an issue. But I digress. You can go do that homework and not waste a comment there, because I'm telling you, just go look at that video. But let's kind of get back on track here. If it takes place after the blip, I've said this many times that I do think that that's a mistake. I do think that would be a lot more problematic to double down on Chadwick's death, to put it onto T'Challa, because as we know, last time we saw T'Challa, he was hanging out with his family. He was all good. There were no issues. So that's the part where I'm a little iffy about that. But Marvel might have a different idea. But I will say that this is what they believe. They believe that they want to tell a story about tragedy and finding hope beyond that. I think that's going to be the challenge for them, because the real challenge is going to be like, you better help make me hopeful. You better make me hopeful. If you're going to put me through that nonsense again by doubling down on Chadwick's death and forcing it onto T'Challa, you better give me something great. You have to give me something great. We're going to talk about what that great thing may be, but this was not the issue. This was not the issue. The issue came where someone from the audience actually asked Nate Moore directly about T'Challa. And I want you to listen to the question, and I want you to listen to the answer. And we're going to break both of those down. So let's check this out.
Always going to be the conversation of should T'Challa ever be recast? It is Chadwick Boseman, the only person who can play Black Panther. I have my own opinions on it, but I'm writing in a column. But I'm interested in what y'all think about whether this character can ever be anyone but Chadwick Boseman.
I just want to replay his question real quick. I want to replay it. I want you to pay attention to what he said. Now, one, I think he made a quick mistake because he did interchange T'Challa and Black Panther. He did. But his question, his initial question, it had nothing to do with Black Panther Wakanda Forever at all. Keep that in mind. He just asked simply, can y'all just see anybody else playing the role of T'Challa? That includes a variant, that includes whatever you want, a recast, whatever. He's just asking, can anybody else play this role? I'm going to play the question again, and then I'm going to let Nate answer.
The conversation of should T'Challa ever be recast? It is Chadwick Boseman, the only person who can play Black Panther. I have my own opinions on it, but I'm writing in a column. But I'm interested in what y'all think about whether this character can ever be anyone but Chadwick Boseman.
I think everyone has their right to how they think it should unfold. You know, I will say, as a fan of the books, the Black Panther to me is a mantle, right? And was a mantle in the first movie because his dad was the Panther. It's clearly something that's been handed down. I think that the story we want to tell is a specific story. It's not going to be the story everybody wants us to tell. And that's okay. You know what I mean? I think we only know how to tell the story that we know how to tell. And I hope when the movie comes out, people respond to it and take it for what it is. I think some people are going to come out of the movie going, no, we still believe what we think, and that's okay. We had to make the movie that we understood how to make. And Ryan had to write the movie that he understood how to write. The rest is up to you guys.
Wow. Wow. So I want you to notice how, for one, he completely avoided answering the actual question. Okay. Because the only thing they asked was like, yo, can anybody ever play this role again? That's all they asked. He just asked like, yo, like anybody else. And let me tell you something. Nate Moore has been asked this question before. And it's sad to say that I actually would have preferred him to double down on his last answer than this one. I didn't like his other answer, but his other answer was actually better. Let me play his other answer. This is what he was, this was his response when somebody asked, oh, can we see T'Challa again? This is what he actually said back in November.
T'Challa in our, I'm not hedging my bets. I'm being quite honest. T'Challa is, you will not see T'Challa in the MCU 616 universe.
Now, at least, he kind of left a little bit of hope that there could be another variant. Now, hey, we got Secret Wars coming up. We got Kang and the Dynasty and all that stuff coming up. Okay, maybe, kind of, sort of can see that, I guess. At least he left that door open. But this whole non-answer, I mean, I heard people online saying, well, Nate Moore just doesn't want to spoil the movie. Then don't spoil the movie. You mean to tell me that you couldn't get, like, Kevin Feige gets these type of answers and questions all the time. He gets these questions all the time. You know what Kevin Feige be saying? Anything's possible. I don't know. You'll have to wait and find out. You could have just given a typical Marvel answer. You don't have to answer it directly. You could just be like, no, we'll have to wait and see. Only time will tell. Any one of those non-answers would have been suffice. Yeah, I wouldn't have liked it, but at least you leave the door open. You leave the door open for maybe you won't recast, and you leave the door open for maybe you will. But this is not the issue. Let me go back to what a lot of people were having issues with. And it was what he actually said. And I'm going to break it down.
I think everyone has their right to how they think it should unfold, you know?
Now, that's facts. We do have the right to think about how the story can unfold. And I want people to understand that, because there are people that are going to come in the comments. There are people that are going to come in and say, well, this is Marvel's property. They can do what they want. You don't own the IP. Yeah, we know that. But guess what? We pay for it. And guess what? If we don't pay for stuff, it doesn't get made. Let's not forget, Marvel almost went out of business. Why? Because stuff wasn't selling, because people weren't buying. So you can kind of miss us with the whole, like, we don't control the IP. Guess what? If people don't pay for the IP, ain't no IP. It just dies and it stays somewhere in the shelf. So it is a symbiotic relationship here. So we can kind of kill that argument. It's not a really good argument. We're still the consumers. Yes, they are the producers, but we still pay for this. So we do have a say in how we want. Now, as he said, everyone, whether you're a producer or if you're a consumer, has the right to at least envision how they'd want these stories told, which means, in other words, we have the right to express our likes and our dislikes for whatever creative decisions they make. So for those of you that are out there that like to talk about, well, you don't own it, you can't tell Marvel what to do, let the creators do what they want to do. Marvel just told you right there, we all have the right to see this how we want. They just told you we have the right to feel the way we want to feel. Am I wrong with that assessment? Did I take that wrong from what he said? No, we can't get up there and go write the stories for them, but we do have the right to feel and express our desires. Let me go on.
I will say, as a fan of the books, the Black Panther to me is a mantle.
He says that as a fan of the books, the Black Panther is a mantle. I know some people have only been introduced to Black Panther from the MCU. That was a lot of people's very first introduction to Black Panther, and I totally understand. But before I address the MCU only crowd, before I address that, he's talking about being a fan of the books. And while I'm not a fan of gatekeeping, I'm not a fan of that, I do have to kind of call him out a little bit on that. I understand that if you read the books, maybe you liked the mantle concept. Maybe you like that element, but the books were not about Black Panther being a mantle. It was not. It never was. Because I really need to know, what book did you read in the 50 years of stories of Black Panther that was about the mantle? We did not get, out of all the stories of the Black Panther, they were all about T'Challa. Maybe 5% was about Shuri. But notice what I just said. They were about T'Challa or Shuri, the characters, not the mantle. The mantle was always secondary. The mantle was always like yes, it was part of the story, but you didn't read the books for the mantle. Every time they talked about other Black Panthers of the past, or even if someone else had the mantle, guess what? It typically would inform the reader about how it affected T'Challa. We didn't have any solo book stories about T'Chaka. You didn't have any solo book stories, solo comic book run of like any of the other past Black Panthers. Yes, they were mentioned. Yes, they were brought up. Yes, they had little features and cameos, but the stories were not about what the mantle is. It was always about what the character of T'Challa is and how he defines what the mantle is all about. And here's the crazy thing. Even when the mantle was not his, it was still about T'Challa. Even when T'Challa was not in the picture and it was about Shuri, it was about Shuri. When Shuri had her solo run, yes, it was limited, but at the same time, it was about Shuri because it's about the characters. And this is one of the reasons why I caution, even for you MCU fans. Now I'm going to go to the MCU fans because a lot of you might sit here and say, but the movie was about the mantle. No, it was not. The mantle was absolutely a part of the movie. We saw T'Chaka, we saw T'Challa, we even saw Killmonger. We saw that mantle going around. So yes, it was an element of it, but that was not the central focus. Now, does Marvel have the right to take that and do something with it? Sure. But let's not do the revisionist history now and act like it was always about the mantle. No, it was not. The comic books were not about the mantle. Neither was the movie. The movie was all about Chadwick. It was about T'Challa and what does T'Challa do? And whatever T'Challa does, it affects everything else. The only reason you saw T'Chaka at all was to inform T'Challa's journey. The only reason why you saw Killmonger take up the mantle was to show you the dichotomy between him and T'Challa with the mantle. What's it like if Killmonger has a mantle compared to T'Challa? It's always going back to the main character. So yes, even if you are just an MCU fan and that's all you think about is the movie told me it was about the mantle, that's fine, but that's not the central point. And let me tell you why focusing on the mantle is so risky. Let me tell you why. Because we do not go to movies or stories for mantles. We don't. I need people to be intellectually honest about this. Don't be disingenuous here. We go for the characters. The characters define the mantles. The characters are what make us relatable to the story. You can even bring up, let's say, Green Lantern. You know, when it comes to Green Lantern on the DC side, there's a reason why they focus on Hal Jordan, the Green Lantern, John Stewart, the Green Lantern, because it's the characters we attach ourselves to. We don't go into that DC property talking about, man, I can't wait to watch the movie about the Green Lantern Corps. You don't care about the Corps. You care about the characters that embody these characters, these roles. You care about the characters that define these mantles and these titles.
Symbols are nothing without the women and men that give them meaning.
Didn't we just get done talking about James Bond? Did they sit here and say that did the producers say that they wanted to make another 007? No, they said they want another James Bond. Y'all know 007s have existed before James Bond, right? If you've seen the last movie, there was a 007 before James Bond, and there was one after James Bond. Did the masses care? Did everyone care about 007, or did they care about James Bond? That's the difference I need people to understand. It doesn't matter if it was already established. It doesn't matter if it gets passed on or not. Guess what? James Bond can be fired too. And the mantle of 007 can pass on to someone else too. And he didn't have to die for that to happen. Same thing happens in the comic book. T'Challa is not always the Black Panther. And that's okay, because the focus has never been about the mantle. But let me explain exactly why the risk that happens if you focus on the mantle. So again, if you're an MCU fan and you are into the MCU and this is all you know, let me explain exactly why focusing on the mantle is a problem. It makes the Black actors and the Black characters expendable. You know why? Because you won't have enough time to connect with the characters because it's only about the mantle. If all you care about is that some Black person is under the mask and they are Black Panther, why do you care about that individual story? Why do you care about if that character dies or not? Because, hey, if Shuri dies, oh well, we'll have another Black Panther, right? For all of those people that are attacking those in Recast T'Challa because you think this false notion that we just don't want Shuri to be Black Panther. By the way, we are very okay with that. Are you also going to be okay if for whatever reason Shuri just dies? Are you going to keep the same energy if they just keep on passing the mantle to whoever? Are you going to keep that same energy? What I'm saying is, I don't even want to be in that position. I don't want to have to choose between T'Challa or Shuri and XYZ. I don't want to have to make that decision because the comic books don't make us do that. The comic books elevate everyone at the same time, and the mantle is irrelevant. That's the level of thinking I need people to understand and see. So if you're in the MCU and that's all you know, I need you to see the bigger picture beyond Black Panther Wakanda Forever. I'm not talking about this one movie. I'm talking about the franchise overall in time. And let's be honest here. There have been a lot of issues behind the scenes, according to reports, with Letitia Wright, the actress. Some people who have not been following the Recast T'Challa movement and stuff like that, so some of this news might have gotten off your radar. Go Google Recast Shuri. Back in December of 2021, because some people don't realize Recast T'Challa, the hashtag, has trended multiple times. It's not just trendy recently. It's been trending. It might be new to some of y'all, but it's been trending. Back in December of 2021, people were actually saying recast Shuri. Why? Because Letitia Wright had her anti-vax position and all of that. She hasn't even secured the bag yet. She hasn't even gotten on screen yet. And I'm fine with her getting more screens. I'm fine with her having the mantle. But look how quick people were willing to turn on her, on the character, and on the actress. And if you were comfortable with it's just a mantle, why would you fight for Shuri? You would just be like, man, get another Black actress in there. We don't care. It's just a mantle anyway. I don't want these characters to be expendable. So when I fight for T'Challa, I'm fighting for all of them. This is not one of those, oh, well, you said save the whales, so you must hate dogs. No, that's not, no. I've told y'all, T'Challa is not a stepping stone. He is a cornerstone. And what do you do with cornerstones in any foundation? You build around them. Solidify T'Challa, solidify Shuri, solidify all the other characters that you want. Give us more. But if you sit here and talk about it's just the mantle, you're going to devalue the importance and significance of the individual characters. Steve Rogers should be just as important whether he's Captain America or not. Tony Stark should be just as important whether he's got the Iron Man suit or not. You don't care about mantles. You care about characters. Yes, I'm talking to you. You just don't care about that. Yes, it can be an important element in the story. That's fine. But it's a secondary auxiliary element of the story. It is not the primary force. It is not the driving force. The characters should be the driving force. This is why I don't push for one gender versus the other. That's stupid to me. All that sexism talk. If you're a brother out there trying to down sisters, that's stupid. If you're a woman and you're downing brothers and stuff, to elevate women, that's stupid to me. I want to elevate all of them together because that's what the franchise was created for. The franchise was created for Black representation. That's why Jack Kirby created T'Challa. He didn't create a whole bunch of different Black Panthers. He created T'Challa, who just so happened to be the Black Panther. And through that representation, Black women started to step up. We got the Dora Milaje, we got Shuri, we got Storm, we got more representation. That is the goal. Not this crabs in a barrel mentality of, well, we can only have one and we got to get rid of the other one to do. No. We need all of them at the table. So this is why I am very concerned with Nate Moore's idea of having it just be about the mantle. That's why I'm concerned with it. Yes, he's entitled and he has the right to do whatever he wants. But as a paying customer, as a fan of the franchise, I can also voice my disagreement. And as I said, I am a fan of the franchise, which means I want Black Panther to succeed, whether it's the comics, whether it's the video game, whether it's the MCU movies. I want it to succeed, and I don't believe it is a successful path to focus on the mantle. I have not seen that being demonstrated to be a good formula for the franchise. I don't want Marvel to treat the mantle like a hot potato and just kill off this actor or kill off this character and just stick somebody under the mask. As long as you got someone under the mask, should be fine. I don't want that treatment. I want these Black characters, men and women, I want them to be significant. Not because that they have some shiny suit, that looks like a cat. That's not what makes them special. It's about what's inside of each of them. That's what we should be looking at. If you're not looking at the characters first, what are you doing? And like I said, I don't see that as a successful model because I don't think it's going to be a good thing. If you think about Black Panther 1, okay, it was about T'Challa. Black Panther 2, maybe it's about Shuri. Black Panther 3, maybe it's about Bashanga because we want to show another one. Black Panther 4, maybe it's about this other Black Panther and this other Black Panther and this other Black Panther. When are we going to have the time to connect? Y'all see how much y'all love Tony Stark? It's not because of the mantle of Iron Man. You love Tony Stark. We all love Tony Stark and Robert Downey Jr. because of the time we spent with his character, because of the time invested in building his character. That's why, as we talked about before with the Russo brothers, his death was a good, meaningful death because we had over 11 years of stories with the character and we had a full arc. We had a full story. We didn't pass off the Iron Man mantle to War Machine, and then Pepper Potts, and then Happy got it, and then everybody. No, we didn't do that. We focused on the character. Look how long it took for Captain America to finally pass the mantle. He needed a good 10 years too, but they took the time to invest in Steve Rogers first. They took the time to invest in Tony Stark first. And I'm saying, take the time to invest in T'Challa. Take the time to also invest in Shuri. And take the time to invest in all of the Black characters in Black Panther, Nakia, Okoye, whatever you want to do. Invest in all of them. Don't make us expendable by putting them under a mantle. Remember, I told y'all it's not about the mantle. I told y'all it's about T'Challa. It's about the characters. I told y'all this, right? Ooh, here comes some bonus footage. I didn't even know I had the bonus footage. I forgot all about it. My bad, y'all. I need you all to look at this. And I'm telling you, character over mantle. Listen to the man himself.
And what made Ryan the right director for this? You know, he came on after Chadwick had been cast, so talk about that process a little bit.
I mean, his two films, both Fruitvale Station and Creed, are such great character pieces, and we knew that for people to love the Black Panther franchise, they needed to love T'Challa. And I think Ryan...
What? Back it up. 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 Say it again.
Great character pieces, and we knew that for people to love the Black Panther franchise, they needed to love T'Challa.
I just want to hear it again because I fully agree. I just want to hear it again.
And we knew that for people to love the Black Panther franchise, they needed to love T'Challa. And I think Ryan figured out a way to make him really relatable. For somebody who's the king of an African nation and also one of the smartest people in the world, that's a hard thing to do, but Ryan is such a great dramatist. And Ryan is really smart about his other characters. So the Dora Milaje, Nakia, Okoye, these are all characters that we think are going to be huge characters for fans, and it's because of the work that Ryan did.
And what made Ryan the right director for this?
Characters! He ain't talking about no mantle. Characters. Woo! Thank you for proving my point. Did I make anything up? Did I edit anything that he just said? Did what he just say contradict anything I have talked about when I said characters are more important than mantles? That's okay. I know somebody about to come into the comments. Somebody gonna be like, "Oh, let me move the goalpost. Let me change the narrative. Let me come up with an excuse. It's okay. It's about the man." Go argue with 2018 Nate Moore. Then go argue with that. Go argue with the whole history of films. And again, let me know what mantle has been the primary force of a successful story, franchise, anything. Let me know. Y'all heard him, right? Y'all heard. Do I need to play it again? I might need to play it again. Hold on. I might, because I think somebody in the back might have missed it. I just want people to listen. Just don't even listen to me. Listen to Nate Moore. Y'all don't listen to me. I'm a nobody. I'm just some random guy trying to get clicks on the internet, right? I'm just here for the hype, right? I'm clout chasing, right? No, y'all don't want to listen to me. Listen to Marvel. Y'all love Marvel. Y'all want to listen to Marvel. Listen to Marvel then.
These two films, both Fruitvale Station and Creed, are such great character pieces, and we knew that for people to love the Black Panther franchise, they needed to love T'Challa.
I'm done. What do I need to say? I don't have to say nothing else. Marvel just told you. You need to love the characters. T'Challa matters. Marvel told you that. I'm good. I think we can get. Man, I wish. Do I have a mic? Can I? Damn, I wish I had me a. I got a big old mic. Look. Okay, I just wanted to drop the big old snowball mic. I ain't got no other mic. Let's go on. What else he say?
Something that's been handed down. I think that the story we want to tell is a specific story. It's not going to be the story everybody wants us to tell.
And that's fair to say. That's fair. I mean, like I said, I want to see the story from the blip. Maybe it's this story. Maybe it's not. I don't know. This is why I'm actually going to go watch the movie to make sure. They are going to tell whatever story that they want because Marvel can do whatever they want. That also does not mean that they are above reproach. That does not mean that people cannot disagree. That does not mean people cannot criticize. We can do that. And by the way, that also doesn't mean that we can't react and express our desire for what we would like to see just because we haven't seen the movie. There are people like, well, you haven't seen the movie, so how can you judge? We can still say what we want without seeing the movie first. You can do both things. It's okay. No one is making predictions. I'm not saying that, they're not doing this one thing in the movie. I'm saying I would like to see this. I hope they don't do that. And guess what? I can still go see the movie. You can do both things. Let's check this out some more.
That's okay. You know what I mean? I think we only know how to tell the story that we know how to tell. And I hope when the movie comes out, people respond to it and take it for what it is. I think some people are going to come out of the movie going, no, we still believe what we think, and that's okay.
And this is what I will say. I can respect that. I can respect Nate Moore's position on this. And this is why, by the way, I am not attacking Nate Moore. I want to make that very clear. I am not doing it. I don't have any I don't know Nate Moore. Like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, F Nate Moore. He's killing T'Challa. That's not my MO. I told y'all from the jump, whenever I have any level of criticism for anything, it is usually about what people say or what they do. I don't know this brother personally, so I'm not going to sit here and attack his character or his motives. I don't know him. I have no place to do that. I believe that he believes he's doing the best thing that they can do, and that's fine. And guess what? I can also say, I disagree. I got a different feeling about that. And guess what he just said? That's fine. He also said that's okay. So in other words, for people that are like, trying to attack the Recast T'Challa movement and stuff like that, guess what? Marvel's not really on that with you. Marvel's not on that with you. Marvel saying people are entitled to feel how they want to feel, and that's always been the point. That's always been the point. When I first started the Recast T'Challa petition, and unfortunately I can't name names or anything like that, but I spoke to some very, very important people, some people in very high places. And before I ever launched the movement, before I started the petition, I wanted to make sure that everything I was saying and everything that I was putting in the petition would be as respectful as possible, because this is always coming from a place of love and respect and honor for everyone, cast, crew, family, everyone. And what I was told by these very important people was, even if we don't agree, we respect where you're coming from with this. Because as a fan of the franchise, you're entitled to feel how you feel. And it was because of these important folks, and because that they gave me the green light, they told me, again, I can't, don't ask me who they are. I can't say it. But let's just say they're very important people. Like, if I could say it, it would legitimize a lot of stuff. I'll just say that. But when I got that green light from them, people in the industry, by the way, I was like, okay, we good. We're good because we're just fans talking about what we would like and what we care about. And Nate Moore understands that. That's why Nate Moore is not hating on people that feel differently. And I honestly really wish people that are on social media, let's just say you disagree with Recast T'Challa and all that, and that's fine. You're entitled to that. I wish they would take a page from Nate Moore. Nate Moore is like, you can do that. You can feel that way. We still gonna tell our story. We still gonna do what we gonna do. But you are entitled to feel how you want to feel. That's fine. And I respect that. I respect the mess out of that. Because at the end of the day, we don't have to agree. But we should respect each other even if we're on different sides of the aisle. And that is the sense I get from Nate Moore, and I appreciate him for that. Again, I don't agree. I don't agree with a lot of what Nate Moore envisions, his direction. I don't agree. But I can respectfully disagree. And I appreciate the fact that he can respect it right back. Let's finish this off.
We had to make the movie that we understood how to make. And Ryan had to write the movie that he understood how to write. The rest is up to you guys.
And there you have it. The rest is up to you guys. We're you guys. That's us. All of us. Now, they feel, again, this is one of the reasons why I never question their motives. I think that is one of the trickiest things to ever do whenever you're engaging in a disagreement, debate, conversation with another person or other people. One of the most dangerous things is to question motivations because you don't know other people's hearts. You don't know what's in other people's minds. You don't know what's driving other people. But one thing you can always do is look at actions and the impact and talk about that. So for me, I've never questioned Marvel's, Ryan Coogler's, Nate Moore. I've never questioned their motivations because I do believe that they do think, as he just said, that they're going to tell the story that they believe that they can tell. I think that they have better options, but they think that whatever that they're going to tell us in this next movie is the best one. They're entitled to believe that. And we're entitled to agree or disagree. And I appreciated him basically saying it's up to us. So, once again, if you are one of those folks that are just joining out of nowhere, the YouTube algorithm threw you over here and you like, yo, why is this guy talking about recasting? Like, they already wrap filming. Like, what are you talking about? Let me tell you right now, stop judging anything based off of these couple of minutes in this video. Don't base whatever you think you know off of some hashtag. If you want to know and understand what Recast T'Challa is all about, once again, don't go following some random TikToker. Don't go looking at a hashtag and just making up an assumption. Go to change.org/recast T'Challa. Go there and just read the petition. It's not long. It's not long. Matter of fact, I'll give you the quick bullet points. Nobody's asking for an immediate recast. So in other words, we're not talking about this specific movie. No one is preventing anyone else from taking up the mantle of Black Panther. Why? Because as I just mentioned, it's not about the mantle. We're talking about the characters. The other tenet is, hey, we just didn't really want Marvel to use Chadwick Boseman's death, the trauma from that, as a plot device in their fictional storytelling. Just because Chadwick passed away does not mean you have to make T'Challa pass away. And more importantly, the most important, all we're asking for is the portrayal of T'Challa to be allowed to continue in the MCU. And I specifically worded it that way to leave it as broad and open as possible. Do you understand what I mean by when I say the portrayal of T'Challa? I did not say you got to keep the 616 version. I did not say you got to keep Chadwick Boseman's version. I didn't say nothing. I left it broad and just say, whatever you do, keep T'Challa going. Do something, because it's fiction, and keep T'Challa on screen. That's a very low bar. That's a very low bar. I know people even that support Recast T'Challa that think that that is too low of a bar. But I intentionally did that because I wanted to make sure that this was something so broad that it was almost impossible to argue against. If you want to preserve Chadwick Boseman's version of T'Challa, you can do that in the MCU. It is a multiverse. There is time travel. There is magic. There's a whole lot of things to make that work. So if you are just joining this, please go ahead and actually go to the petition, change.org/recast T'Challa. Judge me, judge the movement, whatever you want on that. Look at that. Matter of fact, because I already know some of y'all gonna have questions. Scroll all the way down. Go to the FAQs. Click on the FAQs because I guarantee you're gonna have some questions. You're gonna have some questions. Is it too soon to recast? Is it disrespectful to recast with another actor? What if I can't see no one else but Chadwick? Can someone else be Black Panther? Like, sure. Listen, I anticipated all of this. By the way, all of this was done. Look at the date. Hold on. Look at the date. April 9th, 2021. All of these things are already there. I anticipated all of this stuff because even if you are not for recasting, even if you have a negative connotation, I already took you into consideration. I empathized with your position already, and there is another response. All of that is addressed because this is always, as I've said from the jump, a campaign and a movement based in love, respect, and honor for Chadwick Boseman, for T'Challa, and for every Black actor, cast, crew, the whole franchise, all of it is all inclusive. There's nothing exclusive with Recast T'Challa. Nothing. When we say Recast T'Challa, we're not saying nobody else, nothing. There's nothing, it's all inclusive. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up here. Y'all let me know, how did you feel about Nate Moore's comments? What did you think about what he had to say? Do you believe that it's all about the mantle when it comes to Black Panther? I'm actually kind of curious. If you do think that the mantle is, let's just say, a good idea, a good route to go on, can you think of any other franchises, series that focus on the mantles and are successful? Like anything. And I'm not, that's not a rhetorical question. I'm really interested on, is there some other property that focuses on the mantle or on the title and not so much on the individual characters, and that's been successful? Let me know. I really genuinely want to know if that exists. And if it doesn't exist, and if it clearly has not been proven to be a winning formula, are you comfortable with that being attached to the Black Panther franchise? Which, again, by the way, 50 years of comics, it's not been about the mantle. It's always been about T'Challa, and it's always been about the individual characters, not the mantle. The mantle's present. It is a factor, but it is not the main thing. I can tell you this right now. They could literally have Black Panther, the franchise, and the Wakandans could be like, yo, we don't want a Black Panther anymore. And the story would still continue. Why? Because it was always about the characters. Always. Anyway, y'all let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. This was just a segment of one of my live chats, and if you're interested in joining in on the next one, be sure to subscribe and turn on your notifications for more. I've got more videos and reviews to do for you all, and until next time, I'll see you all later.